Today, we're actually going to take a live tour with Morella and her crew of Zoom HQ and walk through all the different technologies and ways that they've implemented their solutions to bring the office back to life. And so I encourage our attendees to really think about your office space and think about your employees and your culture and how could you possibly take the technology that you're going to get exposure to today and implement it for your organization.
And this right here is a live floor. And we at Zoom have multiple buildings, multiple floors, and we want to make sure that our guests and our employees are getting the best experience possible once they're on site. And that's why we've got a Zoom room running on a kiosk mode. This is just leveraging one single Zoom room license for this instance. So bear with me here. The first and foremost one that we really enjoy is our virtual receptionist option. This allows end users and guests to come on site and get better expertise in just one simple selection. This is fully customizable. You can have up to 6, but you could just use one if you need it. Security, IT concierge, deliveries, you name it. But in our case, we're going to sample this with our receptionist. You see the camera popped up here. We've got Dave behind the camera. And let's see who's going to answer today. Let's make sure that we are good to go for this tour. Now keep in mind this is making a Zoom meeting call. Hey Ed, how's it going?
Hi Morella.
Good to see you. Franklin, are you ready for this webinar?
Yeah.
Awesome. Let's do it. Thank you guys.
So this is in essence simulating like what you could have as a front desk receptionist, then replaced by someone that can just automatically interface at any given time.
Absolutely, Ryan. I mean, the use case scenario for this
and anywhere in the office.
Anywhere in the office. They could be anywhere. They could even be taking their lunch break and just stepping aside. And here's a really great thing as well. So let's say they are here and the front receptionist was out to lunch, but the visitor is here to go ahead and get checked in. We've got a couple of options for that. This is our newest flagship. It is our visitor management. We can select visitor registration and allow your visitors to impromptu register, right? So with their name, their email address, right above you see fill out host information, fill questionnaire, take a picture, ta-da! And you can print out that badge. So now you can go ahead and print it. Get even NDA agreements, by the way. So if you want to go ahead and sign off any NDA agreements, you can do that all on the fly on the kiosk. Now, granted, this is impromptu, but if you wanted to allow this process to be streamlined even further, you could have had the opportunity to send out that email to the visitor. They fill out everything in advance, and they will get a code. They put in that code, and off they go. You're able to print that badge, as I mentioned before. All very user-friendly. Okay, what comes next, Ryan?
Well, random question on that. I've seen the badges be printed before, and they're always in that kind of black and white stick on the chest thing. Is the printer itself something that I can just incorporate whatever type of device I'd like to, or is that kind of mandatory with the experience that you're showing right now that it's that style?
Really good question, Ryan. Currently today, our features were first released, and we've got hardware manufacturers that are catching up. Right now, we have tested and certified these brother printers, but we do have other printers coming online. We are also going to advance this experience. Right now, the use case scenario is the receptionist has a computer that's connected to the brother printer, and that's how they're able to print. But we're working with hardware manufacturers such as J-Link and others that they're going to put the printer driver directly on the appliance. So once they go print badge, right, it's automatic, and we don't need a facilitator having to be in the middle with that computer to print. But really great question. We're evolving those partnerships and making sure that the use case scenario has a lot more freedom and flexibility for
At least
hardware.
tell me a color photo is available.
I can bring crayons, and your toddler has a marker, so maybe that would work.
All right. What's next?
All right, what's next is you guys saw how easy it was for me to book a conference room or perhaps even a desk when I was in the office. Absolutely, really user-friendly, but what we can do next as well is bring that exact same functionality to a kiosk as you experience here next. We've got the ability to have multiple floors, and here is the indication of the conference rooms that are currently available and ones that are occupied. Again, I'm going to ask you, Ryan, does this integrate with the calendar?
It 100% does.
Yes, exactly. So here, how do we go about booking space? Well, select an option like this conference room here, for instance. You can see the image of the conference room, the occupancy, and if you want to go ahead and see the availability, go ahead and do that. Reserve directly from here. You already saw that, pretty simple. What I'm going to show you next is hot desking and hoteling. Now, with hot desking and hoteling, the reason why we are approaching this very much so more than ever is because a lot of companies have downsized and they're also supporting hybrid environments where people are working from home a certain days a week and in the office a certain days, and you want to make sure that all of the conference rooms are available as well as the actual desk, so their purpose for individuals to come in and use, just kind of like a hotel. So that's the concept there. Now for me to book this desk, all I need to do, Ryan, this is really exciting. I'm going to visit my Zoom client, and right there it says scan QR code. I'm going to put that camera right in front of that QR code, and what's happening here, because I'm already logged on to my phone, no credentials are needed on the kiosk. There's my profile picture. You guys saw it earlier when I was working from home. I will have you guess where that is. It's in Yosemite. All right.
I would have never guessed that.
What's really cool about this also, Ryan, is anywhere I go with my Zoom client, this is accessible. So right here in real time, there's my image. I'm booked. I can also tell that my boss is over here in the corner, so I purposefully booked all the way across the other room. Sorry, Mark. So this is pretty simple. You can have multiple floors. You can kind of have fun with this and, you know, dodge a bullet from one of your colleagues or sit next to, if Berkeley was here, I'd be sitting right next to her. Anyway, you see the freedom and flexibility. We're also seeing a lot of creativity with our customers booking equipment. They're also booking parking spots like EV parking stations. All of that stuff is considered. You don't have to have it be a room with hardware in it. It could be a massage chair, it could be a wellness room, it could be a mommy's room, you name it. There's a lot of creativity. The whole focus behind this is giving you additional resources for you to manage everything and keep it organized and available for all of your employees.
So I could get up early and reserve the good parking space before Tom does. I don't know who Tom is. I'm just making that name up.
Absolutely. Or Jared. We've got a Jared and a Melissa and an Elizabeth on, if I recall that. Absolutely. What we've got here next, this is taking you through the art of the possible. You don't have to use all of this stuff. These are just functionalities that are built in as part of the Zoom platform. What we've got here next is hardware at the desk. If you don't want to have hardware at the desk, no worries about a thing, because everything is going to be all right. This is all for you, for your one love, Bob Marley. You can just you can just print the QR code, boom. Do the same thing that you're about to see, scan it to do the check-in. Check-ins are really important, Ryan, because you want to have that analytics and you want to let people know that you've already are in the office. And also, look at what's going to happen here. This is no magic trick. We're going to use the Zoom client to scan that QR code, and look at this. It says check in on my client. So all I need to do, and look at this, is checking into the hardware. The next screen is a prompt so that I can protect my experience here with a PIN code. Reason being is if I walk away to grab some water, no one can come here and do any prank on me like you bet I know you would. So this is now my login, my credentials, my hardware for the time being. And if you recall, I made the reservation from 10:15 to 11 a.m. today. So if I receive a phone call, I can go ahead and get that phone call. I can make a phone call. I can even access my whiteboards from here because this is a capacitive touch screen. So if I want to evaluate any of the whiteboards that I've been working on, I can go ahead and do that right here. And it's all connected in the cloud. And our whiteboards are meant to be used now, later, forever, until it's no longer. So if you notice here, I'm going to say hi. All right, look at this. I'm going to go ahead and X out. And later on, if we have the time, I'm going to revisit this so you can see anywhere the cloud goes, the whiteboard goes, and everything is accessible here for me for Zoom. So I could one click to join because this is my device. Once I'm done, Ryan, if I want to sign out early, I can go ahead and just simply check out. This will allow other users to use this space if they need to. Now, this is not the one and only single hardware. We also have a Zoom phone appliance, and the way we go about reserving this is exactly how I showed you earlier, right? I could do it from any of the forms that I've demonstrated so far and included this part. So I can go ahead and reserve right at the phone itself, making that reservation. The next one is going to be, okay, Marella reserved this. Are you ready to check in? Absolutely, I'm ready to check in. All right. This phone again is now signing in with my credentials. So Ryan, if you were going to give me a call and if I would have checked into an office in Bermuda, it would not have mattered. I would be able to use this phone for the duration of that reservation time, set up the PIN code to protect that from any prankers coming in. But as you can see, I can join these meetings right from this device. And lastly, we've got legacy phones. I can also do a tap to check in. We've got even a Logi Dock Flex, which has a lot of peripherals, so wireless keyboards and the mouse and the cameras, monitors, and you can charge your device. So you've got a lot of flexibility, and at the end of the day, this all integrates again with workspace reservation, which is integrated with your calendar. So here you can populate the map, book, flexibility. This is the ultimate takeaway from a hardware perspective. We don't make hardware. Zoom makes zero hardware. We do not make hardware of any form whatsoever.
You just
Our
showed
main
us going
focus-
through and reserving several different devices, kind of one-offs. I assume that you could just have like 5 or 6 devices and then one single sign-on that applies to that entire workstation, right?
I mean, you would never, Ryan, have a phone, a personal Zoom room. I mean, I don't think
Don't tell
you
me how to
would
set up my office environment.
Don't tell you what to do. Okay. It's rare, unless you're a baller like you. It's rare that you would have everything like that. You would usually pick one. But if you did have multiples, you would have to do a check-in to each one of those devices because they're operating separately.
Including that stapler. That was a very shiny red stapler. You guys
What
buffed that
show
thing
is that
up before?
from?
That stapler?
Yeah. But what off? Well, I'll
Office.
let you think about where. Yeah. Okay. Fine. Okay. So you got it. All
Come
right.
on.
Now let's see if you get the next thing. The next thing, use case scenario here, Ryan. I'll let you think about it and maybe you can add some of your highlight. We've got a room scheduler. Room schedulers are included with the Zoom Room license. So if you want to provide the hardware outside of all of your conference rooms indicating the presence, so you can see the LED lights are directly built in. You've got the banner at the bottom indicating if it's busy or not. You can scroll through to see what's going on. You can even hide this for privacy purposes. If you want to hide the details of the meeting, you most certainly can. But if I want to access the calendar, I can go ahead and do it from here. And look at this, one selection to switch a room, and I can go ahead and bring up that workspace reservations. I want to reiterate again, Ryan, you create this map one time on the portal, and it's going to be accessible all over the place if you've got the hardware that you want to push this to. So if I want to go ahead and book, I don't know, we've got a massage chair right over here. So if I want to book that massage chair, this is our wellness room, I can go ahead and look at this. Don't tell Mark. I'm going to be there for the rest of the flipping day. No joke. I'm going to go ahead and reserve that.
You deserve it.
Look, I do deserve it. And look at all I need to do is scan that QR code to reserve it, and it's been reserved. Now,
Please
I
note,
asked you,
busy
Ryan.
notifications not necessary when your walls are made of glass.
True, but the cool thing here is, all right, Ryan, give me a 2 use case scenario why the room schedulers are really cool. This is a test.
Why they're really cool?
Yeah, why are they so cool?
Well, they're all, I have no idea where you're going with this. You're gonna have to point me in the right direction. Oh, look at that
All
flip.
right.
That's fancy.
Yes. So why are they so cool? Let me tell you why they're so cool. One, it helps to reduce double bookings.
I was
right?
gonna say
so
that.
Yes, you were totally. I knew it. You and I were on the same wavelength. Second, they also help squatters from coming in the room, like they walked by like Ryan style, you know, like, oh man, this is my conference room all day, right? And they are gonna squat in here, and meanwhile, somebody else actually reserved this conference room, Ryan, how rude. They're gonna come in here like, dude, you're totally squashing my parade.
Right.
So that's another really great reason. And another great reason is because in case those instances happen, you want to go ahead and just find an alternative conference room versus having to go back to your computer, log in, go door to door like we used to in the olden days. You can actually get it all done there.
Is there any reporting mechanisms? built into this? Because that's where my mind's going is like, I want to know which conference rooms maybe are being actually used, and maybe we could use that space differently if they're not being utilized at all.
Boom, you see, now you're on a roll. Absolutely. Analytics are included with everything that you've seen so far. Plus, we also have a check-in feature. So Ryan, if you check in into the room, it secures it. And if you don't check into the room, it releases so other people that are walking by maybe can indeed use it. So that's all being considered. Now let's go ahead and talk about what's going on here. I know that I've already told you that we don't make hardware, but we certainly work with hardware manufacturers that we can make this experience so much more simple. Like for instance here, we've got an all-in-one appliance, meaning we have everything that we need in this conference room in this single chassis. So if I was to start taking things apart, the computer that is running the Zoom Room license and the software is already here. The camera, the speakers, and the microphones are all built in. So installation, HDMI to the monitor or monitors, you get to be as flexible as you want, and that's all involved. Now let's go ahead and show you what we all been waiting for. Go into the Zoom Room and join you from the Zoom Room. Because we are integrated with your calendar, you get a one-click to join. We simply invited the room into this experience and you get the blue one-click to join icon right there. Now what I'm also going to show you is every Zoom Room needs the components that's there on the appliance plus a controller. However, I can also pair my mobile device once I'm in the room to the controller, replicating everything that's on the controller at the convenience of my fingertips on my phone. So let's go ahead and one click to join. All right, now you guys are hearing and seeing me from the Zoom Room itself. All right, so here I am. Now, a couple of things are happening here, Ryan. You see the stream of the main conference room table, and you also see the stream of this other camera. And the reason being is because Zoom Rooms now has the offering where you can pair the hardware into existing Zoom Room hardware, allowing you to not only get additional real estate space of the video that's being shared here, so I can actually see the video. If content was being shared, I'd be able to see this in an overflow, but I can also see the camera. It allows me to collaborate with my whiteboard and you don't lose my facial interaction. So if I was really someone important and, I'm whiteboarding versus, perhaps playing tic-tac-toe here with you guys today, you'd be able to see all of that. And I can see you guys, we can all collaborate. Nothing too fancy here, but this is just an example of something that we could do if you wanted to keep your existing hardware, but wheel in the additional supported hardware that can give you whiteboarding, extended wireless content sharing capability here to view that image, all that good stuff is supported. Nothing that's supported here in the room is, do you see, it looks like, I don't know, it's sticking out of the middle of the conference room table. Our
It's like a
Zoom
Yui
rooms,
Boom speaker.
yeah, but it's not. Look at what it can do. I'm gonna go ahead and on the controller, I'm going to select speaker focus. Okay. And look here what can happen. This is to engage the in-person participation so that you guys can see exactly what's happening in person around the conference room table.
Wow.
This is going to be paired with a Logi Rally bar. So this is a complementary product to it. How you doing today, Dave?
Yeah, so this is a voice activated device, and you guys didn't see me until I just started speaking, and I slid right into the conversation. And if I'm quiet for a little while, I'll slide back out. But I got camera duty, so
You're sliding now?
I'm sliding out on my own.
All
That's
right.
pretty
See you
slick.
later.
Pretty slick, right, Ryan? So this is an approach that Logi is taking to this. And what we're going to show you next is how Zoom Rooms ties this experience embedded into our software. And it doesn't matter what hardware you choose, and you don't have to have additional hardware. It's also supported. So look at this. Because I can have my controller with me anywhere, I can actually hang up my call right from here. Now I'll take you to the main camera.
Just me and the microphone hanging out now. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, no pressure. Are you comfortable being all by myself? Right,
The
Ryan?
spotlight is my comfort zone.
Well, here, I will take the ring and talk to you about digital signage, folks. Digital signage is included with your Zoom Room license, and it's to scale. One single Zoom Room license, and you can have as much digital signage players across your organization as possible. The use case scenario there could be various different things, like you could upload JPEG images, PDFs, it could be announcements or events that are coming up within your organization. You can even Zoomify it by having workspace reservation. This could be a continuous image of what's happening. And by the way, this is connected via the cloud. So if Ryan was to schedule any of these conference room, or if he were to check in, we would see that reflection immediately because it's, again, connected to the cloud. But we do even more so than that with Zoom. So you can stream Zoom meetings, example, all hands meetings to digital signage, now allowing you to have overflow areas. Beyond that, we can even integrate with Zoom Phone for E911 procedures and protocols. In case of an emergency, you can alert all of your employees or guests to please evacuate to the nearest building. We even have thought about collaboration purposes and put in a wireless sharing key on digital signage that you can enable, allowing your users to now use these spaces for work and share content from their phone or from their laptop, etc. So a lot of freedom and flexibility with our digital signage. And again, Ryan, it's all inclusive. So just that one single Zoom Room license, and you can buy 1,000 trillion billion TVs, get a player to it, download Zoom Room software on it, and voila, you can have digital signage to that player, and you can specify the library content to the actual display. So it's appropriate based on country, buildings, etc., if that makes sense.
It does. I think everyone out there is wondering if that's a real gong or not. So can you?
Oh, is this a real gong? Don't you have gongs in your meeting spaces?
We are a gong free environment. That's a nice gong. Oh my goodness.
It totally is. It is real and it's very nice. Oh, what's also real here is the rattle. It just want to swing it like a fly. Stop it already. It's noisy here, Ryan, to say the least. And sometimes we eat and it gets really distracting. We love parties. But what we're going to show you is how we're able to have these parties, but better yet, have meetings and conduct it all from the Zoom rooms and be relieved of those distractions on the far end with the Zoom rooms. And in this case, now we've got a Yealink 820. Alrighty. Welcome to the same space. I'm going to hit the gong one more time. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm. Oh.
Wow.
No, you
I don't know if you
didn't.
can hear that. I can hear it's very loud. You guys remember Ed's key? It's so loud. It's not every day that you would have, I don't know, a grown man rattling keys in your meetings.
He didn't seem
maybe
excited about rattling those keys. Is that like
Yeah.
his shtick and he's just tired of doing it? I mean, maybe you guys should focus on the gong. That was a
Maybe,
perfect use
maybe.
case.
Or maybe we should just have our meetings and eat and not worry at all about the distraction and noise, right? And this is
This
what
is
we
great though. I mean,
achieve.
multiple offices around the country able to hold like a happy hour on a regular basis without having to fly people in. I mean, that's pretty awesome.
Not only that, if you are an accountant or a lawyer, right, and you're rattling papers, whatever, you can tell here, it totally eliminates those distractions. And the goal here, Ryan, is to have a natural flowing conversation, right? You don't want to mute and unmute, because I don't know about you, when I mute, I forget I'm muted, and then I say stuff and then people don't hear me, and it loses the flow. We want to eliminate all that and give you fidelity in video and audio experience, and achieving so through the Zoom rooms, and it's actually embedded as part of our platform. So I don't know, Ryan, you have the cutest seller I've ever seen in my life. You know, she could be making noises she could be there right now. We don't even have any idea, because Zoom noise suppression is actually built into our core.
That's amazing. I'll tell you what, if I can live the rest of my life without hearing the words "you're on mute," I would be ecstatic. Should be outlawed. Should no longer utter those phrases.
Absolutely. Now, Ryan, what we're about to show you next is how Zoom plays quite well in the sandbox, if you will. In this example, Zoom Rooms was invited to a Teams call. And in those instances, maybe you do have Zoom Rooms, but maybe you are often invited into a Teams meeting or a Google meeting. And for us, Zoom Rooms will be a participant all day, every day into those platforms. All you need to do is come and select join. Look here, we've got the Teams logo. Go ahead, Dave. All right, so Dave here is going to admit the Zoom room as an attendee. Voila, and just like that, we're able to be in a Teams call. Let's go ahead and show you from the exact same Zoom room. I'm going to show you how possible this is through Google. So I'm going to now select here the Google invitation. All right, I'm going to go join. That's all you need to do. And the reason why we're able to do that, Ryan, is because, well, we have integration with Google, Microsoft, and Cisco WebEx. So we are actually in a Google call right here. Pretty simple. That's all there is to it. Any questions there, Ryan? What do you think?
I'm just overwhelmed with the possibilities, Marilla, so I have no questions at this time.
You want me to hit you up with a gong?
But for anyone in the audience, if you have questions, Q&A is open. Please don't hesitate. Throw them at her.
Yes. I'm going to take a tiny little break from Zoom rooms and
we actually
talk to
do
you
have
about
one
Zoom.
question. Was there actually special
please.
equipment that we needed for the noise cancellation component? I assume that's part of the hardware, or is that part of the software?
It's a combination of both. So Zoom Rooms has a noise suppression built into our software. However, I will say that not all hardware manufacturers are created equal, and some do a better job than others. What you just witnessed there was on a Yealink A20, and that noise suppression is distributed across all of their portfolio. But Neat have their acoustic bubble, Poly has their acoustic fencing, and PC and Mac-based Zoom Rooms also support noise suppression. So I would say that it's a little bit of both.
Got it. Thank you.
Really
You
good
brought
question.
up our website. Gosh, you thought of everything.
Thinking. Actually, I'll give full credit to Dave and Franklin. All right. So guys, here, this is a tiny little break from Zoom Room. We're going to talk about Zoom Contact Center, which supports our fully conversational AI platform, our virtual agent, and our chatbot. So here we've got Matrix website, but this could be your website, Elizabeth, right? Jared, this could be your website. You guys are going to potentially, think about the art of the possible here, allow your users to benefit from our Zoom Contact Center, our virtual agent, or chatbot that has access to a query system of record, all right, and can ask questions. Of course, you train your AI what to do and how to respond, and at any moment in time, if you want to elevate the self-service experience into a full-blown actual agent, you can do that with our Zoom Contact Center. So here what we've got going on is we've got Dave. Dave has the opportunity to review the chat history of what's going on between myself and the chat bot. And at any moment in time, he can select that video icon to enable a next level of customer service, folks. Now, Ryan, pay attention. As the customer, I'm on your website. I don't have to download the Zoom client. I don't even have to input a meeting ID. And just like this, I'm elevated to video, and Dave and I are going to be able to have that dialogue going back and forth with one another.
My goodness.
So, yep. So it's pretty cool that we can do all of this. And what I also want to show you next, and by the way, you can have the video disabled for privacy. It's just, again, it's the art of the possible. You don't have to take a benefit of all of these things. These are just here for you in case you want them. In case you want it, we've got the dashboard of your contact center. So this is going to indicate the vitals, hold times, etc. But keep in mind, check this out, Ryan. Ta-da! This is playing on digital signage and the Zoom Room. So the Zoom Room, now you can repurpose this hardware for far beyond just one particular application, and that's what Zoom Room allows you to have. It's going to be the hub for most of your pro AV needs, even in larger spaces, and digital signage and wireless content sharing, collaborating far beyond just meetings. Here what we've got is a classroom environment. And here in this classroom, we've got a capacitive touch screen allowing me to potentially even remove the controller altogether, because I can go ahead and interact with the controller right on the screen itself. So, Zoom phone. Do you guys remember the old speakerphone that resides in the middle of your conference room table? Maybe it's like the star phone, right?
I certainly do.
Yeah, you can eliminate all of that. because we now have the option for you to enable Zoom Phone and the Zoom Room. You already have all the hardware installed, so why not? Hey, Ryan, you want to get your personal phone number to everybody so that they can call you? I can test this out. Maybe
It's
not, maybe
prepared
not.
for that.
It's not prepared. Well, just so you know, Zoom Rooms is prepared for that all day, every day. Now, what we've got here is the option to go ahead and do the whiteboarding. So if you want to do whiteboard, of course you can. And third-party media interop. I expressed how simple it is for you to add the Zoom Room into your meeting all day, every day. Integrates with Office 365, Exchange, and Google Calendar. Invite the Zoom Room. Or impromptu, if you need to join a Google Meet meeting, a Teams meeting, or Cisco WebEx, go ahead and select that, input the meeting credentials for it, and you'll be in your way from the Zoom Room. Okay, let's see how this looks like. The user interface for the Zoom Room could not be more simple. So if you are joining from your rooms today, with the use case scenario we get often, Ryan, is they've got a computer in there, they've got a keyboard and a wireless, little mouse. That's the word. Thank you.
I'm crushing it.
Oh, rock on. So the issue with that, Ryan, is one, people need to get in 10 minutes before their meetings to log into a personal Zoom meeting on this computer. And the case sometimes happens all the time is they forget to sign out. Can you imagine the security risk that you're running with that? I mean, someone has an open computer that's available there on this network, and it's using someone's credential outside of their own. It's such a nightmare. It's a huge no-no. Security, huge no-no. Not to mention it's just not user-friendly, period. Or perhaps you have the hardware all in and you plug in your computer and you want to use the hardware. That's the bring your own device approach. The issue with that is, well, people sometimes unplug and they plug in, and sometimes the hardware needs updating. It's just a nightmare to run that platform in that way as well. This completely removes all of that, folks. The room is dedicated to a Zoom Room license, integrated with your calendar, and whatever the time, they can invite the room and do that one click to join. So that's the whole approach to this, Ryan. Not only can I select that, but I can also go, hello Zoom, join meeting.
Do you want to join the meeting?
Yes.
Starting the meeting.
All right, Ryan, so now you are hearing and seeing me from the Zoom Room itself, which is pretty cool, right? What I can also show you here really quick is popular comment. How do you share content into a Zoom Room? So check this out. All you need to do is go various different ways, by the way. We're not going to be sticklers. So you can do HDMI. You can also go to share.zoom.us in case you have a visitor that don't have the Zoom client. But if you have the Zoom client, it's pretty simple. You select share screen. And that's all you need to do, Ryan. That's it. And I could toss this thing in the air, but I think the proof is in itself. There's no wires going to here at all. And because the hardware supports Zoom Room for touch, you can annotate on top of that content. You can activate smart shapes. You can even turn the ink blue if you want to, all of that. And once we're done, we can go ahead and send this to myself via Zoom chat, or to anybody else on the call. I can even email it out to external users. What I also want to highlight here, Ryan, is that we have a Zoom Room on a companion mode. As a result, you can see my camera right at the podium, and at the podium, I can also annotate on the content and all that good stuff. So it gives me that functionality all built in with absolutely no Pro AV needed. Reason being, Ryan, this device was taken out of the box, plugged to power, Wi-Fi, got a pairing key out of our Zoom portal, and ta-da. Look at what you can do. You can put this thing anywhere, including the podium, and you've got all these Zoom Room functionalities built in without absolutely no installation needed. Just taking it out of the box, and that's it.
Incredible.
So pretty cool. Yeah. Another thing that you can also consider if you want to is if you've got our whiteboard. Of course, I showed you, got that functionality, the whiteboard. But what you can do is if you have a traditional whiteboard, you can go ahead and use that. If you have a pen that works, this one doesn't. All right, you can
Thought of everything but having a pen that was ready to go. So
You can,
that's a digital whiteboard because that doesn't look like a normal handwriting.
no, it's my handwriting. Look at this. What's your name? Ryan. Are you saying I just have amazing handwriting?
It's pretty incredible to be honest.
Yeah. And what's really cool about this, check this out. I told you, you can pair Zoom, Zoom hardware into the Zoom room. So look at this. This is a paired device. If you follow the cable right, I'm not kidding you, it's just powered. It got paired to the thing. It don't need Pro AV. You don't need to run up, keep stealing cables everywhere. You got overflow area. You can see it here as well on the main system, and you can see it on the podium. This is all part of the Zoom room. All right, let's go ahead and take it to the next space.
A lot of our clients are the front end administrators, the ones that are told to implement technology once the leadership executives decide on something, right? So I can imagine this is a breath of fresh air. That doesn't mean you have to go tell them that it's this easy, everybody on the call. It's very complicated, and you're still very valuable.
Well, the great thing that we're finding our IT administrators, Ryan, is that they're doing other things that are so much more pressing and important with their jobs. And now they can really get creative and expand the outreach to other projects in their organization, because at the end of the day, once all of these rooms are configured, it's a set and forget. Not only that, Zoom Room has a software check-in. As part of the portal, you can set a midnight call check. It will ping the Zoom room, make sure that the video and the audio are good to go. If there's any issue, it will send that warning back into the administrative portal. You can see it, there's something going on. So you can be more proactive versus reactive to any of these issues. But overall, your end users, you're giving them all of the flexibility and the power to run and be effective with their meetings and the collaboration tools, because it's just simple. And we're still getting pretty creative here. There's a lot of different approaches that you can take with the Zoom room. We are hardware agnostic, as I mentioned, Ryan. The all-in-one appliances they're just fantastic in my personal opinion. Various different hardware options. It's a plug-and-play solution. Take the thing out of the box, HDMI to the TVs, get a controller, and you're good to go. At the end of the day, however, we still support PC, Mac, and Windows base, as well as the Android, as I mentioned. But PC is a great approach, as it does allow us to be a little bit more creative. So if you've got complex spaces with the visible walls, you even have Crestron or QSys, all of that stuff, we still manage everything through the Zoom room, giving you this functionality and the ease of use in these previously very complex spaces. But check this one out.
We're currently in the supervillain room. All I see is just like 3 ominous characters over there dictating evil doings.
Oh, we're about to make it even better, because we have here another Zoom room. This is using a PC, in fact, Ryan. All right, and it's hidden all really nice and pretty. You can basically now, this is, you remember back in the day, the telepresence, I don't know if you were familiar with those. They were like $500,000. Have to have the appropriate furniture. Zoom Rooms has really changed the game and making this so much more available. You see here, very nice, beautiful screen. It is a 105-inch planar screen, so I can do share content, I can do whiteboarding, I can do all of that stuff. And of course, at the end of the day, by the way, it has 3 cameras on top. So let's go ahead and show you that experience next.
Take supervillain position 1.
Boom. There you go. What we've got here with this solution is we've got 3 iPads on the table. This allows these iPads to add collaborations like the whiteboarding. Okay, so let's see here. If I want to go ahead and annotate and do all this stuff right at the convenience of my fingertips here, I can go ahead and do so. Right, so this is using that Zoom Room companion mode. No additional, this is just on Wi-Fi, and we're charging the cable right here. It's pretty simple. But look at what you could potentially do in your boardrooms. If you've got old projectors in particular, you want to have a 105-inch TV, multiple cameras. It greatly enhances. You can even have iPads. It just transforms, and absolutely no Pro AV here is needed. What we're also seeing, Ryan, let me show you this room. here really quick. Not only can we support these 3 cameras and the native streaming of all of these cameras and picking up all the participants here, you also have the advantage of a +1 camera. So if I'm the podium, I can go ahead and speak to my attendees. If this is a touch screen, as I mentioned, so if I'm annotating on the screen, et cetera, over a content that's being shared, that participation of the CEO in the front of the room is not lost. This is thinking outside of the box and putting the thing into a box. Very simple one part number that you can do here. But what I'm going to show you next is a traditional boardroom. So let's go ahead and take it to that experience next.
Come on over. I don't think you'll find any villains here. I think everybody's going to be pretty ecstatic with the audience in this room. And I want to highlight the fact that in the other space, Ryan, you saw 3 cameras on the very top and 1 in the back of the room. In this room, we've got 3 cameras in a V shape, right? And this is purposely done this way to optimize the participation that we're going to pick up in this boardroom style. So let's go ahead and 1 click to join. Bueno, bueno. All right. What we've got here, which you guys see, is the view of the main conference room table. This is very, very traditional for most of your conference rooms, right? Now, let me walk you guys through a little story. You see Dave, he's sitting down. What traditionally happens in these boardrooms is that you've got some participants that are being obstructed by others. Well, Zoom introduced a functionality that's supported in all of our Zoom Room PC, Mac base, and Android. It's a software. It's called multi-stream. Smart Gallery allows us to use artificial intelligence to find the individuals that are here, adding those additional streams. So if we want to see in gallery view, perhaps, you can see these individuals that are located in the conference room, right? You can see that right now, but it's not actually picking up everybody. We're going to introduce next Intelligent Director. This is the next enhancement in this functionality that's also using artificial intelligence and machine learning, in again doing a round robin to make sure that all the individuals are being captured. So now you guys see Dave is right here. Do you see that, Ryan? Do you see now Dave has his own stream and that he's actually located? He's no longer being obstructed by amazing, talented Angelina Jolie, everybody.
Mind blown. That is actually pretty incredible.
Yeah, so this is how we're seeing a lot of boardrooms being deployed. What's the hardware in this room? It's very simple. It's a PC, 3 cameras, the controller, and the microphones. That's it. Now, what we also have is a +1 camera allowing us to have visibility of the presenter at the podium. This is not a must. You basically get to Legoland your conference room with various different hardware options, as we are hardware agnostic, and create this specific thing you're looking to do. And the Zoom room has all these softwares that support all these different functionality that you can benefit from at any time. You just have to make sure that you align the hardware with your specific needs. Now, in this case here, check this out. You guys are seeing me from this camera? Or is it this camera? All right, you guys are seeing me from this camera. All right, now look at what happens if I move over. If at any moment in time the AI realizes, hey, there's another better view of Morella from a different camera source, in this case is this one now, it does that auto switching with absolutely no user intervention needed. I can even walk around, right? And the auto framing is going to pick up those participants.
As it did.
All right, Ryan, that pretty much concludes my rodeo over here. Are there any questions that we can address?
We didn't have any additional questions, but that was an incredible tour. You are a true professional, Morella, and thank you for showing us the experience and giving us a look behind the scenes.
One question, Berkeley says.
Oh, we do have one question. How does the audio / camera behave when multiple people are talking?
Dave, let's show him.
Bring Dave back in.
Dave back in the house.
So this room is not voice activated.
No.
It's frames up torsos. shoulder up. And as I come into the room, I'm framed up just because I'm human-like, because also these cardboard cutouts are brought in.
Yeah.
They're not talking.
And I can talk over him just on purpose.
Yeah.
And if you guys see, I'm talking to him over on purpose.
And there shouldn't be any problem if we're
I don't
both
think
talking
so.
at the same.
No, I think
time.
you like are in my head right now,
Yeah.
Dave.
We've got three microphone pucks on the table here. They're gonna pick up everybody
Yeah.
around equally.
Okay, hold on. Okay, let's see. Taylor Swift, you got anything to say? Horrible joke.
I'm a
Horrible joke.
billionaire.
But the whole purpose here is, what up, Michael? I'm here all the way in the front of the room. And again, Ryan, the focus also needs to be addressed with the appropriate hardware, right? So in this case here, we've got these microphone pods on the table, but it could have been ceiling microphones, which by the way, we have a lot of boardrooms and a lot of conference rooms here at Zoom, and we can mix and match these hardware to support the appropriate, layout. Like if I'm right here at the podium now, a lot of this, the Zoom room is going to do the auto switching and mixing by itself, but we do need the hardware and, we've got an iPad right here in the front of the room, and in the very back, we've got a Poly TC8. So you can mix and match these hardware to provide the best output and experience.
Excellent. And a secondary question that came in about hardware was, will a list be provided of all the hardware that was shown in today's tour? Absolutely, we'll provide adequate lists of what was shown today, and as well as have deeper conversations about what you're trying to achieve in your office environment. So I take it that's the end of our tour?
Unless you have any more dad jokes.
The one that I shared earlier is pretty good. What's blue and smells like red paint? It's blue paint.
I thought that was fabulous.
I know, it's awful.
Well, thank you everyone so much for your time today. Really appreciate it.
Absolutely. At the end of the day, Matrix Networks is a partner for deploying awesome, innovative technology. Our mission statement is to deliver exceptional client experiences through innovative solutions made simple. I think that we've all seen on today's call that this is innovation, and you are making it as simple as possible to really implement game-changing technology without having to do complete overhauls within the office environment. And again, I implore everybody on the call to think specifically about your office needs and your employees and the culture that you have in your business. Think creatively, and then work with your Matrix Networks account manager and client success team member to build out a strategy. We are a partner for you every step of the way, and we'll provide every resource necessary to help you achieve your goals. Marilla and team, thank you so much for this tour today and exposure to what's possible leveraging Zoom. So until our next session, thanks everybody for attending. Hope you have a great rest of your day. We'll be signing off now. Cheers.
Take care.